everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my weekly makeup basket. So I was thinking about filming this video every like 2 weeks, but you may or may not know this, but I am a high school teacher. So right now I am enjoying what I am calling my 60-day long weekend. I'm wearing a lot more makeup, right? I'm playing around with a lot more makeup. I'm playing around with a lot more colors. I have a lot more time to do a more complex makeup look. So because of that, my weekly makeup basket actually, filled up, or my weekly makeup drawer actually filled up a lot quicker than I thought it would. Like I said, I thought I was going to film this video every 2 weeks, but I think I may be able to film this video on a weekly basis and give you guys a bonus video on Sundays to show you guys what I use during the week. So I'm not gonna necessarily go in a particular order. For the most part, I'm gonna do like eyes and lips first, and then we will end the video with our complexion products like bronzers and things like that, unless I have a pretty large complexion product up on top. So I guess I'll talk about this first. This is the Soleil Tan de Chanel, the universal bronzer. I do have the original formula, but I know a lot of you guys still have this product in your collection. Mine is still creamy. Mine does not smell bad. My product is still pretty good. And I really only pull this. Yeah, it still smells absolutely delicious. I really only pull this product out in the summertime. Now, I understand if you have stopped using this product because it is a little bit on the older side. It's been like, what, 2 years since they discontinued this formulation. But like I said, I still really enjoy the product, and I figured I'd share the brush that I am currently using, or I like to use this bronzer with, because it is a little bit finicky when it comes to the type of brush that you're using. So this is the SL Miss Glam brush. I did get this as part of the brush book, but you can pick some of these brushes up individually. But I really like her brushes. They are synthetic brushes, I believe, and this is the full foundation brush B11, just in case this brush is being sold separately. But it's a very small foundation brush in my opinion, but it's kind of perfect for getting in there with that cream bronzer. So I really enjoy this bronzer. If you still have it in your collection and you are still using it, yay. I plan to keep this and use this until it starts to smell bad or the formula is just not working like it should be. I haven't had any issues with it. All right. So I'm going to talk about this palette again. Yes, I said in the last video that I was going to have to hide this palette, and it just goes to show you that I am continuing to use and continuing to love this palette. This is the Transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics, and yes, I did get this on BoxyCharm. Somebody commented that I am pretty much like a walking advertisement for BoxyCharm, but I use the products that I get in my box, and I enjoy the products that I get in my box. So I really love this palette. I have now done an eyeshadow look with this gray tone here. I really enjoyed that. I have played around with the more like pinky tones, and I did like a really nice pink look with it. I am wearing today this shade down here, Caramel, and I am wearing Coffee Beans. So I'm wearing Caramel as kind of my like transition shade, and I'm wearing Coffee Beans in my crease. And I guess I'll go ahead and pull out the other products that I'm wearing on my eyes today. And I really like the look that I have today. I'm not too sure if you'll be able to see the effect that this has on my eyes. So I brought that Coffee Bean shade, like I put it all over my lid and on the crease. And then I added this on top. I also got this in a BoxyCharm, I believe it was. This is the Shadow Flip, the multi-chromatic shifting liquid shadow from Ciate London. I have a lot of liquid shadows, and most of them are actually from Stila, like the Stila liquid shadows, and a few of the Cover FX ones. I really like those. I didn't really care for the ColourPop ones, and then there was one more brand that I tried the liquid shadow from, and I didn't really care for those either. And when I got this, I thought it was very cool because, like it says in the description, it is like a multi-chrome liquid shadow. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that. However, I would say on the eyes, the multi-chroma effect is not as apparent, which I thought would have been very cool. I have tried this now with a white base, like I tried the Milk, I always call it the Milk, the NYX eye crayon or jumbo eye pencil in the shade Milk, and I've also tried it in the shade something beans, I can't remember, the black one, right? And I've tried putting it on top of those, and I didn't really see much of a difference. I think this shadow looks really good, you know, kind of on its own. I did, like I said, pull that coffee beans, the darker brown shadow all the way down and apply this on top, and I think it's a very pretty coppery look, and then every so often you kind of get this olive green hint to it with a little bit of like a gold shift to it. So I do think it's pretty. It hasn't cracked or creased on me. I have been wearing this now. What time is it? I don't even know where my cell phone is. I think it's like 3 o'clock right now. I've been wearing this all day. I did my eye makeup pretty early in the morning. I've been wearing this all day and I haven't seen any cracking or creasing. And I've seen so many people declutter this eyeshadow, and I'm gonna keep it because I really like the eye look, and I honestly didn't have to like pat this in. I just kind of like swiped this on my eyes. I went in with one application of this and just kind of like patted it in and smoothed it out with the applicator here, and went in with the brush and just kind of blended out the edges, so to speak. It blended right into that coffee beans eyeshadow. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna continue to use it. All right. Some eyeshadow palettes that didn't work for me, and y'all might be like, well, duh, you know, eyeshadows formulations do go bad, and I know that, but I have these two palettes here from Urban Decay. They're probably, I believe these are the oldest palettes in my collection. So this one is I have the Shadow Box palette, and then I do not know what this one is called. These are just very old palettes, but I quite honestly kind of miss like old school Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes because they were very fun, very colorful. I never got into like the big Vice palettes, but I did really enjoy these palettes. I got rid of the one that had like a zipper around it, but I really did enjoy these. Some of my favorites was like Free Love, which is that peachy one. Of course, Baked Cowboy, but I have that in a single shadow. Sin, but I have that in a palette. I really liked Mushroom. Of course, Smog, which was everyone's favorite. And in this one, I loved Smog is a repeat in here, but I loved Mildew, which is this mildewy green one. It's like an olive green one. And this beautiful shade here called Shattered, which is like a blue with some gold reflect to it. I also really liked Polyester Bride. I also really liked Grifter, which is this lovely kind of lavenderish, like a pinky lavender color. And then of course Sin is a repeat. However, these still swatch really nicely, but the formulation just isn't there anymore. They kind of fade away into nothing. Even with like a base, like I apply a white base if I really want to amp up the shadow. I tried wetting them. It just isn't there anymore. So I was trying to do kind of like a Neapolitan look, and it just wasn't coming out. So I wiped it all off and I started all over. And I recently picked these up. So these are the Viseart eyeshadow palettes, and these are 50% off. And I was actually surprised. I knew that this one here in Koi was going to be a shimmer / metallic palette, but I didn't realize that this one here in Boheme Dream is also like a shimmer. I wouldn't call this one necessarily metallic. I think Koi is a lot more metallic than this one, but these are all shimmers and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I used these. I used Koi, and then on another day I used Boheme Dream. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that one. I use this shadow right here, this kind of deeper teal shadow, and I use that to kind of deepen up my crease just a little bit. And I was wearing it in a video. I can't remember what video I was wearing it. I think it was like my current skincare routine, but that's the shadow that's kind of in the V, and then I pulled it into the crease. I use a transition shadow from the Dominique Cosmetics transition palette, but then I pulled this one out and I use, I'm sorry, I don't have the names of these shadows, but I used this green shadow here on the outer corner. I use this kind of peachy orange shadow in the middle, and then I use this like I don't want to even say mustardy yellow, it's like a yellow gold shadow in the inner corner here, and the eye look was very, very pretty. When you were looking at it like straight on, it looked a little subdued. It didn't look as drastic or dramatic, but then if I like churned, and because these are like shimmer metallic shadows, when I churned or when like the light hit it and it was like uber reflective, it looked very, very pretty. So I really enjoyed using these, and I was really, really surprised by the quality of these. I don't want to say surprised by the quality of these. I was surprised that the shimmers work just as well as the mattes. I love Viseart matte shadows, but the shimmers really, really surprised me. I have a few singles here. I pulled out 2 singles to wear with this. I just wanted to do like a quick and easy look. This is the Batter Up eyeshadow stick. I like these, but I don't like these as much as the Laura Mercier eyeshadow sticks, but those are just so expensive that I would never pay for those full price. I've only ever gotten the full size of the Laura Merciers in like Boxy Charms or subscription boxes or something like that. So these are a good alternative, but they don't last as long, and they aren't as, in my opinion, as great as the Laura Mercier ones. They're still good and I still use them, but you know, you just can't compare those. So this one is in the shade Curveball, and it's this really pretty kind of rose gold color. Sometimes I wear this as like an eyeshadow base, and sometimes I wear this as a standalone shadow. On this particular day, I wore this as a standalone shadow, and then I paired it with these 2 single shadows. If you saw my vanity tour, I have like a little drawer dedicated to just matte single shadows, and these are the Lancome Color Design single eyeshadows in the shade Scorching, which is very similar to, but not quite the same. It is not a dupe for it. It is very similar to the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in Camel. And then this darker one, which I used in my crease, is in the shade Stone. I really like the packaging of these like Lancome ones, the little, you know, the little lid on it. So this one is in the shade Stone, just a really nice like deep color to warm up the crease. So I like using these 2 together and then just pairing it with like a pretty shimmery shadow, and it's a super quick look. I picked those Lancome eyeshadows up. I think they were on sale on the Ulta website. Okay, another eyeshadow palette that I was very surprised by. This is the Pure times the Trolls like collaboration that they did. I picked up every single one because they were running on a sale on the Pure website. And so this, if you pick them up together, there was like a bundle of them. It was discounted, and on top of that, I could apply like the coupon code to them. So I got these for a very inexpensive price. I, however, would not recommend purchasing this at full price because the quality of the mattes in here is a little patchy. They're gorgeous colors, but they're a little patchy. I would, however, highly recommend these shimmers. This shadow right here is so freaking gorgeous and metallic. I really, really love this shadow. It's very similar to the effect that I get with the like Tarte chrome, like the chrome pots. I love those. This middle shade is also very pretty, highly pigmented, highly reflective, and then this last one here is also very, very pretty. It's not as intense as the other two, or that first one that I swatched that's like super, super metallic. As you can see there, this one right here is not as intense, and that's that kind of top shade there. But it's still a palette that surprised me. However, I am thinking about decluttering this one. I don't know. It makes a very nice travel palette, but I am thinking about decluttering it because there are shades in my collection, especially like that chrome pot one, that I don't need a whole palette. I don't need to pull out a whole palette just to use a single shadow, because realistically, the only shadow that I was extremely impressed is that middle shade. It's just so pretty, so pigmented. So yeah, I'm not sure. You guys will see my ultimate decision on that during my eyeshadow palette collection, and not so much declutter when I get to that, the eyeshadow collection. All right, so I have a large eyeshadow palette in here. This palette is a little bit on the older side, and I think I am probably going to declutter this one. This is the Violet Voss Pro Ride or Die palette. The packaging is just so gorgeous with this one. I might just keep it, honestly, for the packaging. But I don't know. Every time I do a look with this palette, I'm just underwhelmed. It looks pretty. I don't know. I was hoping that some of these, like the shimmers, are not super shimmery. Even when you wet them, the mattes are like, you do really need to build them up. And I have eyeshadows palettes, like matte shadow palettes, like the Viseart palettes or the Viseart palettes. I'm not sure how you pronounce that brand. I believe it's Viseart. It might be Viseart. That just perform so well. Like a lot of these I have in that, like the warm neutrals palette. I have like the neutral mattes palette as well. So I have a lot of these shadows in there. These shimmer ones, like I have those yellow ones in the Koi palette that I just showed you. I don't really reach for some of these cool tone ones. This one right here, Fiona, is like this pearly color that really underwhelmed me. And I honestly have like those like pearly colors in this palette here. It's an underwhelming palette, and I don't know if it's because it's a little bit on the older side, but even I remember when I first got this palette and I first used it, this was one of the first like larger palettes that I got that I thought I could just use this alone and never need another palette. But I honestly am just underwhelmed with this palette, so I'm probably gonna end up getting rid of it. I've been underwhelmed with it for like years now, so I'm probably just gonna end up decluttering that palette. So if you do see it for sale, I don't know, I honestly would not recommend that palette. Let's go ahead and move into some lips. So I tried to pull in a few of the lip products that I was using. Let me go ahead and grab my makeup bag because I threw a few in my makeup bag here. All right, so I have been absolutely loving the Morphe lip liners. This one, the one that I'm wearing on my lips today, is in Morphe Sweet Tea, and I love this lip liner. They are very creamy, but not too creamy, like the ColourPop lip liners, where they just kind of move around and don't quite set, and they just kind of wear away pretty easily. These last on my lips all day. I can reapply a gloss on top of these lip liners and it will just continue to wear beautifully throughout the entire day. So I think I have purchased every single one of the shades in the Morphe lip liners, and I'm probably going to declutter a lot more lip liners from my collection because I just love these lip liners so much. And they're like $5, and you can use a coupon code on this on Morphe at Ulta. It's available on Ulta. So I highly recommend these lip liners, and so much that I'm actually going to probably declutter this one. This is the Pillow Talk lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury. I got this as part of like a set that came with this and another product I'm about to talk about in a second. And I just really don't care for this lip liner. Everybody raves about it and everyone says like how good of a lip liner this is, but I quite honestly don't really like the formula of it. It's a little dry in my opinion, like kind of like a MAC, like traditional lip liner dry. I just really don't like it. I much prefer creamy lip liners, and Morphe in my opinion is where it's at in terms of lip liners. If you use lip liners, get it. Even if you don't use lip liners, I use the Morphe lip liners as like a regular lipstick. I'm actually wearing, oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to do that. I'm actually wearing the Morphe lip liner and then the Marc Jacobs like mini sugar lip gloss right on top of it, and that's it. Like I didn't apply a lipstick or anything on top of it, and I really like just using those lip liners on their own. I use the Pillow Talk lip liner with this Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss, and I like this lip gloss. It is kind of thick, and it is sticky. It has like a minty scent to it, but I don't think this is lip plumping. It kind of feels like it is, but it doesn't leave like that tingly sensation like a traditional lip plumping lipstick would. I like the color, but as for a sticky lipstick, I like sticky lipsticks like the MAC lip glasses, or I'm trying to remember what other sticky lipstick, like Rihanna, the Rihanna Gloss Bomb is a little bit sticky, and I like sticky lip glasses or lip glosses because I know they're gonna wear a long time, but this didn't wear nearly as long as I was hoping it would, but I'm still gonna keep it around in my collection because I like the formula, I like the stickiness and that mintiness to it, and I really like the color as well. So that's probably one I'll end up keeping. I pulled out a KVD liquid lipstick in Ophelia, and I like KVD liquid lipsticks, but I do have to exfoliate my lips beforehand. I do have to apply a lip primer to it. And then when I apply this on top, sometimes I have to put a little bit of like translucent powder, like right on like towards the inside of my lip to keep my lips from kind of sticking together. So they are work in my opinion, but I like the colors and I like the end results when I do apply these, and they do wear a really long time. But you know, so many people have talked about this formula. I like them, but I have a routine when it comes to putting on those liquid lipsticks. I also pulled out my super fancy Estee Lauder lipsticks. I picked these up on Ulta. I've also picked these up at a CCO. These are the Pure Color Love lipsticks. This is in the shade 140 Naked City. I really like this lipstick. It is this really pretty nude. I know that's a terrible swatch. Just very pretty nude, just like a natural nude. I don't know. I don't want to say necessarily a Your Lips But Better nude, but it's just a very pretty nude with like a slight pinky undertone to it. They smell really good. They smell like vanilla. They don't necessarily last a very long time because the formula is, as you can see, like a glossy formulation. I do find myself having to reapply this lipstick, but I don't mind it. Right. If you do see these lipsticks, try picking up a color, especially this one, like I said, in the shade 140 Naked City. I really do recommend these, and I enjoy the formula of them, and I don't mind recommending them, especially because it is such like a fancy looking lipstick. Okay, let's get into the face products. I already talked about the Chanel face product, so I want to talk about this. This is the Barbie ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in the shade Beach Party. First of all, I want to say that the packaging on this is kind of obnoxiously annoying. I picked this up because someone was talking about this and they recommended this particular one. I guess this is like the traditional Super Shock shadow and cheek product formulation where it's like that bouncy formulation. It is not a pressed powder. I have tried ColourPop pressed highlighters and I didn't really care for them, but I'd also seen these like this in the non-traditional, you know what I'm talking about, packaging that these Super Shock highlighters come in. People were saying they were super glittery on the face, but this one for some reason came very, very highly recommended, and I absolutely love it. It kind of reminds me of one of my all-time favorite Super Shock highlighters, which is in the shade Churro, because it has that like swirl in it. I do still keep the plastic on top of it because I don't want this to dry out. Since it doesn't have like a lid or anything to it, I don't want it to dry out. So that's the highlighter right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's right there, and it's this very beautiful like peachy highlighter. I think this will be a little too deep for me in the winter time because I am a lot fairer in the winter time, but I think it is a gorgeous like peachy highlighter for me right now. I think it's like the perfect time for me to wear this highlighter. So absolutely in love with it. I'm going to definitely keep that one in my collection. This is the Dose of Colors Baked Highlighter in the color Pearl Dust. I did an eyeshadow look that was a little bit more on the pinky side, so I wanted to go ahead and pull this highlighter out. And man, this is just such a beautiful like icy highlighter. There's a swatch of it right there. It really is like an icy pink highlighter, and that's the reason I keep it around in my collection, because I have pinky highlighters in my collection, but none that are as icy as this. So although this is a discontinued product from Dose of Colors, and even though it is a baked product, it's just so pearlescent and icy that I absolutely love it. So if you do see these like at a CCO or a Mercari or Poshmark and you are interested in an icy pink highlighter, that's definitely a good one there. Another highlighter that I have been loving, this is actually the highlighter that I am wearing today, is the Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in the shade 001. I'm not even going to swatch it because it is the highlighter that I am wearing today, and I am wearing it in my inner corners. I really, really love this highlighter, but I feel like a lot of people talk about it. I decided to pull out this highlighter here because I just got this in the mail. It's super fancy, I know, and it's actually only my second Chanel product ever. I picked up one of their ombre, one of their cream eyeshadows in like a pot a few years ago for my birthday, and I love it. But this one was one that I had been looking at for a while, and I picked this up directly from the Chanel website, and this is the, I can't ever pronounce these, the Eclat Magnétique de Chanel illuminating powder in the shade Metal Peach, and I love it. I love peach highlighters because I feel like they do, or they work really well on my skin tone. I have one from Lancome, I can't remember, something like Sparkling Peche. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly either. I have this one from ColourPop, and then I have this peach one from Chanel, like a true peach highlighter. And I really, really love this. I've worn this 3 times already, and it's not uber intense. It honestly has a very similar formula to the Dior Skin one, where it just melts into the skin and it gives you like this very, very nice kind of glowy look. So I really, really like that. I think it is that like baked gelée formulation. I'm so glad I picked this up. And I'm not sure, but I think this was limited edition. Yeah, but I had seen it on the Chanel website for a while, so I just went ahead and bit the bullet and picked it up. All right, so let's talk about blush. I have 3 blush products to share with you. The first one is the Glossier Cloud Paint. I don't know. I used this once, but I did use it with, I'm trying to remember, I think I used it with an Hourglass foundation that it just doesn't work very well. It picks up, like the foundation, if you try to like retouch it or you try to add things on top of it, like a powder on top of it, it just picks up the foundation. So when I tried applying this on my cheeks, it just really didn't work that well. But I also tried wearing this kind of like on my own skin, like with like no makeup on, basically as like a no makeup look type of thing. And it just kind of is a very, very sheer wash of color. I don't know. I'm not super impressed with this Glossier formulation. I don't know. I'm going to try it a couple more times, but the 3 or 4 times that I've tried it, it just didn't really work out that well. The next blush that I have here is the Milano blush in the shade Tea Rose. I love this blush. I feel like people say that they're not uberly pigmented, but I think they are. I use like the Real Techniques. I should have brought the brush with you to show you. I only really use like one brush for all my blushes, or the majority of my blushes, because it works so well. And I really, really like this. It doesn't swatch well. I think this is one of those products that only really work well with a brush. It's just a very pretty, like, corally peachy color. I love it. I love this blush. And then the blush that I'm wearing on my face today is from ColourPop. This is still available on their website. I've still seen it in stock, but this is the Mulan Pressed Powder Blush in the shade Matchmaker. Now, people, I think, are afraid of this blush. As you can see, it's a gorgeous, like, nude blush. It is, like I said, what I'm wearing today. But it does look like it has glitter in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it does have, like, glitter particles in there. This is also a very powdery blush. So whenever I put my blush brush in, like, I dip it in, and then I have to tap my brush off before applying it to my face. And I think when I do that, all of those like glitter particles that you see in there just dust away. I don't see any on my face, and I didn't see any on my face. So either they come off the brush when I tap it because it is super powdery, or it just melts into the skin whenever you apply it onto your face. So for that reason, I do really recommend this blush. I don't necessarily think it's a super illuminating or super shimmery blush. I just really, really like it, and I really, really like the color of it. Okay, bronzer. I have 3 bronzers to share with you in addition to the cream bronzer. This is one of the most recent bronzers that I have picked up. This is the Dolce Diva Baked Bronzer from Kiko Milano. I have mentioned in my vanity tour that I have been getting more and more into Kiko Milano products. They just smell so good. I really, really liked that most of their face products are baked. The packaging is just gorgeous because they are a lot of like limited edition products, and the formulation is just divine, right? So this is the baked bronzer in the shade 03. I don't remember why I didn't pick up the other 2 shades. I normally pick up like some of the lighter bronzers, but I picked up the shade 03 in Fine Cocoa, and I'd say this is like a medium toned bronzer, but this is like a finely shimmery bronzer. It is the bronzer that I am wearing today. It's very pigmented, so you have to be careful with this. I like lightly tap my brush just once and apply it kind of all over my face, right? I really, really love this bronzer. I'm just really, really enjoying this bronzer. So it's still available. I picked this up off the Ulta website. I highly recommend picking up that bronzer. I pulled in the Bare Minerals Endless Summer Bronzer. I'm not sure if these are still available, but if they are, I kind of want to pick up another shade because this one feels more like a contour to me. It is very cool toned, but it is one of the few bronzers in my collection that is this cool toned. But I really, really like it, right? But I can actually use this as a bronzer slash contour because it is so cool toned. I really, really like this, but I am thinking about picking it up in another shade. So then I have the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I do have the original packaging, but it still smells like that vanilla chocolate scent, kind of like the Kiko Milano products. It still smells very, very good. I don't really see anything on it. The formula on this is still very nice. I picked this up when they were discontinuing this packaging. So yeah, I really, really do enjoy this, but I think the milk chocolate for me is a little on the light side. So I am going to switch over to, I have like a deluxe size, but one of the like larger deluxe size samples of the chocolate Soleil. So I think I am going to pull that one in, and this really is only good for me in the winter time. Okay, I think those are all of the products that I have been using, some loving, some not so loving over the past week and a half, I would say. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment down below with your current favorite makeup product, or maybe not so favorite makeup product, so you know I can avoid picking it up. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I am currently trying to post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I'm going to be sharing my weekly makeup baskets if I have a basket to share on Sunday. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.